We'd like to begin by welcoming everybody here today, and we want to announce that the Senate today, by an overwhelming majority, passed the Government Accountability Act, a bill that's run around here in the halls of this Capitol for a number of years, also known as the Sunset Bill, first sponsored, I believe, in recent times by Representative Charlize Byrd. And I stand here with the sponsor of the bill this year, Senator William Ligon, but also other Senate colleagues who strongly believe that this may be one of the 5 most important accomplishments of the legislature, maybe the most historical or one of the most historical accomplishments ever in the history of the state. And why is that? Because Georgians, we believe, deserve the right to regularly examine the purposes and the effectiveness, the efficiencies of our state government. And who best to do that rather than the elected officials of this state who have been elected by the people of the state to protect their interests. It's time now, I believe, to reduce the size of government to fit our government revenues, not to increase the size of government to meet not to increase the size of our revenue, to meet our Let me rephrase that once again. Instead of reading, I'll say it as I've said it a number of times. We must reduce the size of government to meet our government revenues, not increase our revenues to meet the size of government. And this legislation, for the first time ever, allows us to do just that. We're elected to represent the people of the state, and we want to examine the purposes and the efficiencies of our state government and consider whether we should enhance and improve those programs and agencies or possibly consolidate, privatize, or eliminate agencies. Keep in mind also that this is only a recommendation that a group of 14 legislators, 2 would be governor's floor leaders, 6 would come out of the House, 6 senators would be appointed, and 2 floor leaders. And we would only make a recommendation to the General Assembly of what measures, which agencies, which programs we would want to see changed. We could not take any action with regard to constitutionally created departments and agencies, but many of us believe that rather than raising taxes, that this is the best approach. Not just today, because we don't know if we'll be standing here tomorrow or the next day, frankly, but for the legislature to be able to systematically, when we're out of session, look at, with the help of the governor's office and everybody else, look at our departments and agencies to say, which programs do we still need? Which ones we need to keep in effect and still keep in place? And with that, I'd like to turn it over to William Ligon, Senator Ligon, out of the coast of Georgia, who's the Senate sponsor, and we'll be happy to take a few questions at the end. Thank you.
It certainly is a privilege to be able to work with all of the senators and representatives who in the past have worked to try to bring a bill like this to fruition. Certainly Senator Hill has worked very hard along with the leadership in the Senate in the past, and over in the House, Representative Charlize Byrd and Billy Horn have worked hard to bring it to fruition in the House. We believe that this is a good bill. It is a timely bill, especially when we live in a time period of budgetary constraints. We, in the state of Georgia, we receive $11 billion from the federal government, which is used as a part of our budget. With the issues that are going on at the federal level, we don't know how much of that might be cut. So it's important that as a state we operate as efficiently as possible. And we see here a very deliberate effort to go through and review all of our state agencies, all of the state programs, to eliminate those which are not fulfilling their purpose or which are being duplicated elsewhere. This will be good for the people of the state of Georgia. It's good for the taxpayers, and we're very pleased again that it passed today.
We also want to note that this is a key plank in the Senate's legislative agenda for the 2012 session, and we're pleased today to be able to keep that promise to the people of the state. If they have any questions, if y'all have any questions, we'll be happy to entertain 1 or 2.